Hey, in the second video on the RGB Colors JavaScript code along, we'll add the HTML input and output. So we got it working with prompt and stuff, but now we're going to get these inputs working. So let's go to our index.html first. And oh good, we do have IDs on these input elements. Red in, green in, blue in. And we use those IDs to style them differently, right? Because they had unique styles. Okay, and then this paragraph called display is this thing right here. So that also has an ID. So we're going to change the style of that. And then this paragraph here, oh, that has the class RGB code. So I'm going to suggest you know what? Because we did class because we styled it, use the same style for this and for this. So I do need to add an ID here. So it can have an element can have a class and an ID. That's totally fine. The classes we're going to use for the styles, and the ID we're going to use for the output. So I'll just say RGB str out, right? The RGB string out. We're going to display that as an output. Okay, that's good. So let's remember this: red in, green in, blue in. First of all, for the inputs. So I'm going to replace this prompt here with document.getElementById red in. Make sure we have the right capitalization. And then dot value. Okay, and then repeat. Actually, you know what? Let's copy and paste this. Copy, paste. And this as well. Copy, paste. And all we need to change here is red in, green in, and blue in. Okay, and you know what? Let's just run that part of it. And if I change this to 250 and hit preview, we get RGB 250, 255, Awesome. Okay, so that input part is working wonderfully. And I'm building the string. I don't even have to change this, right? This is still the same. It's just taking the variables here, which we're just getting the value for these variables from these input elements now. Okay, so last but not least here is actually the output. So instead of an alert, let's first get it to display in here, which I think I had renamed that to RGB str out. Okay, and you know what's a good idea even is to just copy and paste this, then we don't have any typo errors. Okay, so we'll get rid of the alert and we'll go document.getElementById, paste. And in this case, think about what we want to do. We want to select this element and change its inner HTML. Right, this is the paragraph. And we're going to assign it to be the RGB string. Okay, let's test that. Hit run. Let's make this 120, this 60, hit preview, and it changed that to update to this 120, 255, 60. Awesome. Okay, we're almost done here. All we have to do yet is change the style of this, which if I remember correctly, that was the display, and we just have a background property on it. Okay. So what we can do in our JavaScript, remember, is we can go document get element by ID, and again, it was called display. And I want to change the style of this. So I can add a style attribute, so dot style, and then I do another dot to say what property do I want to change. And in this case, we want to change the background property. And we're going to assign that to be, well, as simple as this, RGB string, right? Because this is the format that we can use for the background, RGB, right? Just like that. Okay, and that should hopefully work. Let's try it. So let's try making this 0. That can be 255. This can be 255. And green and blue make cyan, I think it's called. Awesome. Okay, that is super cool. 120 changes it to that. Let's put this down to 90. Sure. Make some more purplish. That's awesome. You can do stuff like that, right? Just change the tone a little bit. Let's try doing something like 80, 80, 80. And when red, green, and blue are the same, it should give you a gray tone. Awesome. If we do some higher numbers, 180, 180, it should be lighter because it's closer to white, 255. Right? 0, 0, 0 should be black. 255, 255, 255 should be white. Oh, I can't even see it. Okay, sweet. So that's input, process, output again, right? Input from these input elements. We process the values, build a string out of them, and we output the results. Okay, hope that made sense. Take care, and we'll see you in the next video.